Baba Teacher Mmo ene na yewo University of Ghana Linguistics Department. We've discovered another great teacher. Yeba be celebrating no. Midin ede akosia nyantachiwa anoche. Me so frame me teacher for adamfo a mejo so. Na hu me so na aka Teacher Mmo a mejo so say encourage to serve. This week your quote of the week ne say, it is not what is poured into a student that counts, but what is planted. Ediena yedi edua ye mofra ni mu. Ediena yedi dua yi mu. Yenim se ade de odua a bear fruit ema yenya so mfaso. Nti edien ena odi dua students emu. Eya asem sebe yenyina yenwene ho ni ndua abapa.
Welcome to Rev Royal Hotel. In the recent light of pandemic, we are taking utmost care to ensure the safety of our guests. We have to change with the times, and the hotel industry is used to change. Rev Royal Hotel is located at number 1 Second Reach, Cape Coast, Ghana. For more information, contact +233 031 200 3222. Email admin@revroyalhotel.com.gh. Rev Royal Hotel, richly inviting, comfortably yours. We look forward to welcome you soon.
Medofo me mo akwaba na yeda Welma Africa se omo na omo produce fortune rice and de wo pe bia de mo ye bia say ye jollof say ye fried rice say ye wache motu bi de mo ye no Welma Africa e de fortune rice aba Mr. Okwa no watobi na yeda Translite Solar for ase omo no omo se Emfa ho ne said your bottom tie bia ye be ma package to suit your pocket ai upe solar nkwa dia omo be ma obi ko ne ko hu omo na ye ma solar energy enye the main power source na ECD enye backup enti wo ne light off dum so bia eni twaka Mr. Frɛ omo numbers e wo screen so from omo ka che omo so fa wo Teacher Mmo a omo special package a omo de be ma o see baby area wo bia Translite enso ewo ho na ye da Rev Royal se wo pe hotel a edimu ankasa ewo Central Region eye ho Mr. Shawomo ewo www.revroyalhotel ko na wa ko hu ani so ade de wo pe bia omo be ye amma o see Rev Royal Hotel richly inviting, comfortably yours. Doctor, tell us about yourself.
I was born in a small town in the South Tong district, known as Agbedor.
Okay.
It's between Sogakope and Akachi.
Okay.
Yeah. I schooled in the village, primary school, middle school, and then I entered secondary school, Mauli School Hall. I completed in 1966 with an O-level certificate. And then after that, well, I couldn't go to sixth form, so I had to chart a new course for myself.
Okay.
So I started as a people teacher.
Okay.
I was sent to some village in the Volta region. I taught for 3 years, and before I even in secondary school, my goal was to be an engineer because I did science. I did science at the secondary school. But because I couldn't continue to sixth form to pursue it, I had to abandon that dream. So after teaching as a people teacher for 3 years, I realized that, well, I think this is a good profession for me. So why not get trained? So I decided to enter teacher training college. So I wrote the entrance exam and I was admitted at St. Francis Training College at Hohwe in the Volta region. I took a 2-year post-secondary certificate course and completed in 1971. So my first posting as a teacher was the Western region. You know that year Dr. Buzia was then the Prime Minister of Ghana. And they said there were a shortage of teachers in Brown, Hafo and Western. So about 60% of us from St. Francis were sent to Western and Brown, Hafo. So I ended up in the Western region, Seville district. In a village called Anyem. Anyem is about 4-5 kilometers from Wioso town. And that is where the Wioso Secondary School is situated. So I was posted there to a primary school. The challenge was I didn't speak Twi, I didn't speak Seji. And I was sent to primary school. So I was forced to use English. Yes. Because these are some of the challenges we have as a nation. So luckily for me, after 1 year, there was a lady whose husband teaches at the secondary school. But every morning he has to drive her to Wioso town and go and pick her. So he preferred that the wife should be in my school so that she could just walk to school. So they approached me and asked whether I would be able to. I wanted to go to Wioso town. I said, why not? But then I had registered to take my A-level as a private candidate. So I came to Kuforia to write the A-level. By the time I came back, they had done the transfer, so I moved to Wioso. So after 4 years, I decided to leave Western region and I moved to Eastern region. And I was posted to Anum Apepem. It's between Suhum and Asamankese, another middle school there. So by then I passed my first A-level, but the results were not very strong to enter university. But I used that to get promotion as a senior teacher in the Ghana Education Service. So when I came to Anuma Pepem, I took the exam again, and this time I passed with aggregate 10, and I was admitted in the University of Ghana in 1981. Wow. So I was offered linguistics, Russian, and philosophy. Now, philosophy was, as a teacher, I wanted to be on study leave, and philosophy was not one of the subjects that were granted study leave. So I had to change philosophy to classics. So I did linguistics, Russian, and classics the first year, and the second year I dropped classics and took Russian and linguistics. So I completed with a combined program, Russian linguistics, in 1986. Because as part of the program, we had to spend 1 year in Moscow. So I finished in 1986. And by then I was too old to do national service, so I applied for exemption from national service. And they granted me the exemption, and I was employed in the department as a teaching assistant. TA. So I taught for 2 years, and then I got admission to Cambridge to do my master's in Cambridge. So after the master's, I wanted to continue there. They actually gave me the admission, but there was no funding. So it was difficult. So I had to come back. So I got a part-time job at GIJ, Ghana Institute of Journalism. I was teaching there part-time, and then I applied to Cape Coast University for appointment. In fact, before then, I had applied to Canada for my PhD. So I came for, the day I went for interview in Cape Coast, I came back and my admission letter from Canada was there. Wow. So I spent only 2 months in Cape Coast. They tried to convince me to defer my appointment. I said, no, the scholarship cannot be deferred. Maybe the following year I may not get it. So I left. I left for Canada and completed my PhD in 1994. But my visa too had expired, and they were not going to renew it, so I had to come.
Wow.
So I came finally. The following day I came here before I got my appointment letter. That was 1995 as a lecturer.
Wow.
So I started in 1995.
And you've been here since. That's over, that's 26 years?
Yeah, almost, yes. About 26 years.
Wow. Wow. So, and can we recount the first day in the classroom as a teacher?
At the university level?
No, the primary.
Oh, okay. As a people, when I started as people teacher, well, I was not trained. But I was sent to a middle school. When I was as a people teacher, I was teaching in a middle school. So teaching in English was not very difficult. But because I was not trained, maybe there were a few techniques which I should have, the trained teacher would have, which I didn't have at the time. So, but it was not too difficult. I interacted with the children very well, and they were also. I wanted to give them my best.
That's it.
That was the thing. I wanted to give them my best, and then so I taught Form 2, and then the following year I took the Form 2s to Form 3 and took them to Form 4. And the results came, and they were very good.
Great.
They were very good.
Great. You've been a people's teacher.
Yes.
And you've been here at the university level. Which of them is the most difficult? Which of them is the most enjoyable?
Well, I think they are all enjoyable. In the primary school, and as a people teacher, because I wasn't trained, maybe there was a few things lacking. But when I went to training college at St. Francis, I gained a lot of knowledge and experience. Yeah. And so when I went to USO to teach, it was not difficult. I had to apply those techniques. And then they taught us how even to handle students or children in the classroom. All those things are taught at the training college. So my interaction with the students and the children were quite very good. Great. Very good. But when you come to the university, they are adults. But you see, having gone through the training college, my approach to teaching at the university was different from others who didn't go to training college.
Training college, okay.
Because they didn't learn how to handle students. So I was trying to apply the same thing I learned from training college to. But you see, most people, because they were not trained, they just go and lecture, talk, and then go. But I had some kind of feeling for my students. So I wanted to use the same approach I learned from the training college to even though they are adults.
Yes. Once a student, always a student.
Exactly.
Adolfo, Madam say, I feel na wabeka ye ho Teacher Mmo na wo share. Yes, here the show yi boy a teacher for abaso every week. Yen chain for a particular day in a particular month in a year. And now you best celebrate your teachers. Yeah, they say every week be you best celebrate teachers. Mr. Mmo, you try your husima.
Everywhere there is sunlight, there is Translight Solar, the solar professional that make real good use of the sun. When others are just talking about the sun, Translight Solar gives you the solar power that you can trust. Translight Solar gives you a system that becomes your main power and ECG becomes your backup. Translight Solar, the only solar experts that install power and you pay in monthly installments. Yes, that is Translight Solar. Cut your electricity bills by over 70%. Power is also on 24/7. Home or office, talk to Translight Solar System. Call now on 0206 542454 or 0504 249229. Check www.translightsolar.com and email info@translightsolar.com. Locate us at 98 Boundary Road, East Legon, White House, Bus Stop.
You said, sir, you wanted to be an engineer. Was there a point in your life that you wanted to go back and realize that dream?
No. After I had taught, I started as a people teacher, my interest in the profession grew. Even within that 3 years, I attempted even to join the military. to be an officer in the army. I came here,
Wow.
we wrote the exam at the Great Hall, and a cousin of mine was in the army. He was in Kumasi, in the education unit. So they organized. So he told somebody that I was the third person on the list. So number 3. So I was going to be called for interview. I never had anything. So that was why I decided that no,
teaching
that might not be the best place. Once I'm interested, I've got interest in teaching. Let me go. So I've never regretted.
Being a
Never
teacher.
regretted being a teacher.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you recount some of your highest moments as a teacher?
Well, there are instances where I even heard students talking about me. They didn't know I was passing. And they were saying, as for Dr. Agbedor, if you are in his class and you fail, then you want to fail. I was so elated, but they didn't see me. They didn't see me. They didn't see me and say, well, I just laughed and said, well, I'm glad at least people have recognized what I'm doing.
Great.
What I'm doing. Because I always take pains to explain whatever problem you have. They can come to me in my office if they have any problem. I always welcome them.
So what courses are you teaching here?
Oh, I've taught several courses. I've taught syntax. When I came, I was teaching syntax. Then I taught social linguistics. I taught language planning and development. I've taught semantics. I've taught phonology. When some lectures, phonology lectures went on sabbatical, there was nobody. I taught semantics. And then I also teach Ghanaian language. Because at level 300, everybody has to do his or her language.
Okay.
So I teach every. So many courses. Yeah.
Sure. As a linguistic teacher, there's this argument that we should be using our Ghanaian language to teach. And avoid that if you speak vernacular, you will be beaten.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about this?
Well, there's so many researches have been done on the use of the indigenous languages in teaching. UNESCO came, as far as 1953, UNESCO came out with a recommendation that the indigenous languages should be used for initial education of our children because they already have a language and therefore concept formation will be easy for them.
Sure.
So they can learn a second language and then after a certain point there will be a transition. So many researches have been done which prove this correct. So we always advocate that policy should be pursued. But the only challenge is where we have in the urban areas. That's why the challenge is. The urban areas, where if you have a classroom of 40 students, 6 are Ewe, 7 are Gan, how do you manage?
Sure.
There should be a way out of that, but maybe for economic reasons. Because if you really want to implement it, put the Gan students in one group, put the Akan students in one group, put the Ewe students in one group, get the Gan teacher, Ewe teacher to teach them for that period. Then when the transition is done, they can all come together.
Sure.
But it involves
a lot.
Extra classrooms, extra teachers, and so on. So that is the challenge. But it should be the best. And also our own attitude, parents' attitudes also frustrating the program. Most parents, if you ask them, what language do you want your child to be taught in, they will tell you English. They don't see the reason why the child should come to school and be using the Ghanaian language because he or she knows it already. But that is not the reason why the policy was recommended. It's for the understanding of the learning of your own child. Because the child understands a language before coming to school, it is easier to teach him or her using that language at the initial stages. But
is it not a social problem?
Yeah, well, we can say it's a social problem. And you see, we have been made to understand that
if you speak so much English,
without English, you can't even do anything.
Yes.
Without English, you can't get any job. You can't get any well-paid job. And therefore, that thing has gone into our heads. And therefore, parents too are antagonistic towards the use of the local languages. So you see, some parents prefer private schools because there they don't use. Exactly. So that is the problem. But research has shown that it is very useful for students at initial stages of learning. We cannot do away with English. We cannot. Our time we were taught using the policy. By the time I got to P6, I could read very well. I could read English also very well. And bilingualism is an advantage.
Sure.
It's an advantage.
Sure.
And our school system too, there are so many dropouts. People, the farthest people can go is JSS. After that, they don't even know any English. What will they do? They can't do anything.
Honestly.
But if the person can even read and write his own language, he can be of some benefit to them. I always say that a literate farmer is better than an illiterate farmer. Yes, because if the farmer can read even his or her language, certain information that will help him improve his farm activity can be put in book for him to read.
Sure.
And implement. Instead of sending the Greek officer to that place, which we don't even have. You see, so there are so many advantages.
Sure. We pray for the best in the future. Doc, what keeps you going? What inspires you to move up the ladder?
Well, I just want to do, you see, as teachers, we are, as you said in the beginning, we are forming people. Therefore, if you want to form somebody to be a good person, then yourself has to be a good person. You have to show the best examples for the students. So I always try to do the best for my students, because I am also I'm a role model.
Yes.
I have to be a role model for my students. So I have to do things that to make students also appreciate life, even when they go outside the walls of the school. So I always, maybe my religious training too is part of it. I always want to do what is best. Sometimes I don't look at the monetary aspect. The important thing is that I'm trying to impact on somebody's life. So sometimes I don't normally agree with some of these strike actions and all these things, but it's a majority. So there's nothing you could do.
You belong to an association.
Yeah. So I feel that we should always give our best, no matter the situation.
Sure.
And even if you are paid little, make sure that the little that you are paid, you are earning it. Do you earn that the money they give you? Do you actually earn it? Do you work for it? Even though it's little, do you work for it? Some people don't work, but they still want big pay.
So we can conclude you are fulfilled and accomplished.
Yes. Yes.
Do you remember some of your students? Some have achieved higher heights and all.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Oh, I'm happy. I don't have to be jealous when somebody have produced somebody, have produced a professor who is higher than me. I'm happy. I'm happy that I have produced somebody who is, because that is the essence of teaching, forming people. They should, you are happy when they go beyond even what you have been able to achieve. So I'm always happy.
Do you remember some of them by name?
Oh, Dr. Diaba, who was the last head of department, I taught here. There are a number of lecturers here whom I taught in the department.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I taught them. Sometimes, because of the large number, sometimes you don't even remember them. Sometimes they come. Some of them go abroad and then they come. Hey, I'm so and so, Dr. Agbedor, I'm so and so. Do you remember me? I say, well, I don't remember.
Yeah,
then they come with gifts. Get this. Oh, I get a lot of gifts from my students.
Whoa.
So they are all over the place.
Yes.
They are all over the place.
So we have a surprise for you after this break. You try your hustima. You buy you the surprise in November. Say you catch your doctor say you was surprise man. And surprise naba. And then you say ni kakra. And I'm say kakumi ya jini kwekwe ntino. Rev Michael Andoh ankasa waha on any student or recommend Dr. Paul Agbedor say and celebrating with Teacher Mmo so nti ono waha. Reverend, welcome.
Thank you.
Bibi abopod.
Pacho.
And then we Teacher waha. The officer catching ni bia catching no my.
And then the just my teacher na me was surprised the man.
Okay.
Because man this citation in honor of the contributions. Ma school for bebre ya fa nsem na bi ya de e wo baby bebre. our parliament and the Amanon. Yes, yes, Senate anymore.
Sir, a kind of.
You are a leader of today's young minds and tomorrow's bright future. Thank you for having the integrity, strength, and courage to lead me down the right path and showing me how I can be confident in my abilities. The best lessons are not learned from a book, but from the hearts of a true great teachers like you. I'm so grateful for the important school and life lessons you taught me. You shaped my life into the person I am today, and for that I will always be thankful. Dr. Paul Agbedor.
Mo. Teacher Mmo.
Teacher Mmo.
Yes.
Thank you.
I adore ye that Welma Africa say omuna eya omude hampers no mayen e de ma teachers no.
I'm very grateful to him for this honor. It's not everybody who shows appreciation for whatever you have done for them. That is why I want to thank him very sincerely for what he has done. I wish him all the best in his future endeavors. I hope that he will carry whatever lessons that he has learned from me to his future and pass it on to his children and other people he also interacts with.
Amen. Dog, thank you for gracing our show today.
Thank you also.
Reverend Michael Andoh, thank you for honoring your teacher. May God bless you. Adolfo, and ahana yedi dwumadi ni na ebesi. Obetimi so follow yen e Facebook Teacher Mmo. Uko IG so Instagram Teacher_Mmo. Uko Twitter Teacher Mmo. Yes, you follow yen. Ye videos ni so pe bia sha uko YouTube na wo bo Teacher Mmo. Ni nyina beba app na like Documented Africa TV esomayen. Midin e de akosua nyantachiwa anoche. So who me now frame me teacher for Adam for mejo so na aka Teacher Mmo so a mejo so say encourage to serve.